Hi, welcome to my pregnancy nutrition video. First of all, I just want to apologise for my voice. I've got a head cold, so it's just ridiculous. But anyway, this is just a short clip about the general points of nutrition during pregnancy, but also just some of my own tips in relation to nutrition during pregnancy. Obviously, nutrition is always very important, but it's particularly important during pregnancy because you are growing and nourishing another person. My first tip would be not to panic about trimester one, okay? Trimester one is going to be whatever trimester one is going to be. For me, that meant that I was really nauseous and really tired all the way through from like about 4 weeks up until about 12 weeks. I didn't want to eat any of the normally healthy food any of the healthy food that I normally eat. All I wanted to eat were really stodgy, plain carbohydrates. So I was eating loads of bread, pasta, cereals. I ate more pizza in one trimester than I probably would normally eat in a whole year. But that was all I could manage to stomach, and you have to eat what you have to eat. But don't panic about it because hopefully it will level out for you by about 12 weeks. I know there are some unfortunate people who experience pregnancy sickness throughout, hyperemesis throughout their pregnancy, and if that's the case, look, you just have to eat what you have to eat. But for everyone else, usually around the 12-week mark is when you start to feel a little bit better. As soon as you are starting to feel better though, I would advise that you get back into eating as healthily as you can. And my tip would be to eat little and often, which is something I advise people to do anyway, even outside of pregnancy, but it's even more important during pregnancy because during pregnancy what we're trying to do is keep our energy levels, our blood sugar levels on an even keel the whole time. And unfortunately during pregnancy, because your body is demanding more of you, sometimes you find that you can be going along fine. Well, it happens to me, I'm going along fine during the day, and next thing my blood sugars dip really quickly and I get quite weak. And that's when you'll find yourself reaching for the really bad stuff. So if you have little small meals ready for every couple of hours, that's better than trying to eat like as before, maybe where you might have been eating breakfast, lunch and dinner. So personally, I eat every 2 hours during pregnancy, and I find that really helps. Next, I suppose I just want to talk about the eating for two myth, and it is a myth, unfortunately. You are, yes, eating for a second person, but that second person at their largest is really only going to be about a tenth of your body size. So, we're thinking maximum by the time they're born 10, 11 pounds. So you're not eating for two of you, you're eating for you and a little small person. So what that equates to is an extra 200 calories in trimester 2 and an extra 3 to 400 calories in trimester 4. So a normal non-pregnant female is advised to eat between 1800 and 2000 calories per day, okay? So we say if you start trimester 1 on 2000 calories a day, then you're moving on to trimester 2 and you're looking at 2,200 calories. And then by the final trimester, 2.3 to 2.4 to 2.5. Maximum you want to be eating really is 2,500 calories. So if we look at, say, trimester 2, where you're eating an extra 200 calories, 200 calories is about 2 small slices of whole grain toast. Okay, so that's how little extra you're talking about in a day. It's not huge big bags of crisps, it's not tubs of ice cream. It's a very small additional amount to your diet. And it's really good to bear that in mind. The whole myth of eating for two and the whole myth, this whole idea of letting go completely during pregnancy, which I will touch on more in the next video. In the next video, I'm going to talk about weight gain during pregnancy, because from talking to pregnant women in my private pregnancy fitness group, I know that is a big issue for people. So I'm not going to talk about that too much here, but just to say that telling yourself that you can eat for two and telling yourself that you can just eat what you want when you're pregnant is all well and good, but the only person you're fooling is you, because you're the one that's then left with the additional weight gain afterwards. Nobody else is going to have to deal with that, only you. And people tend to really push you to eat more when you're pregnant, so bear that in mind and just remember that when it's all over and you have this baby, any excess that you take on is still going to be there and you're going to have to deal with it, and it's not very nice to have to deal with it when you're trying to deal with a newborn as well. Obviously, if you're exercising, you're probably going to need a little bit more than this, but you really do have to listen to your body in terms of exercise to see how much more your body is asking for, and go with that. Obviously, eat extra and eat straight after you exercise and everything as well. In terms of cravings, I'm a little bit skeptical about cravings because personally I've never got them. And I have read some research to say that they aren't actually real, but then there's other research that says that your hormones do actually cause you to be to experience cravings. So, and I do have some close friends who have assured me that they really did have cravings during pregnancy. But just to kind of be aware that if you find that you are having cravings, that you are, your body is craving more sugar, try if you can to go for either a small amount of what you're craving or the best version of it. So we'll say, for example, like that with sugar, rather than going for the big tub of ice cream, maybe go and have your fruit instead, just to put the cravings at ease. Next thing is the whole, well, I won't talk really about the alcohol thing. I don't drink anymore, so alcohol during this pregnancy is not an issue for me. I did have the occasional drink during my last pregnancy, but alcohol during pregnancy is a completely personal choice, so I'm not going to get into that here. Coffee is a less controversial topic, so I will talk a little bit about coffee. I'm a major fan of coffee. Before getting pregnant, I probably would have had 3 to 4 cups of strong coffee daily. I have the Nespresso machine and I use the pods. So what I did, because the maximum that you're supposed to have, the maximum that you're supposed to have per day when you're pregnant is 200 milligrams of coffee. So I went and got, if anyone can see this, I don't know if you can see this, yeah. I got the Nespresso capsules that have they're the decaf ones, so you'll know them by the red ends. So anyone that does eat Nespresso or does drink Nespresso, that is an option, okay? And there is less caffeine in there. And so what I do is in the morning I have a real capsule, and then in the afternoon I would have one and possibly two, never more than two. I'd never have more than 3 cups in a day. But yeah, that's just probably my little cheat. If you can stay away from the coffee, you're probably better off. Most definitely guzzle the water. Hydrate yourself as well as you possibly can. Obviously just to stay hydrated, but really, to be honest with you, I find because constipation is an issue during pregnancy, drinking loads of water will help with that. I'm going to put a list on the blog that I put this video with of my top 10 foods to have during pregnancy, so I'll be adding that to it. And I'm also going to put a breakdown of an average day for me, what I would eat on a normal day at the minute. I'm currently at 20 weeks, so just to give you an idea of kind of a healthy day for me. And I do have unhealthy days too, we all do, but I try to keep it in check, bearing in mind that I'll have to deal with it all afterwards. Finally, a lot of women are concerned about the things that they are not supposed to eat during pregnancy. And I have found myself from my own research online that the NHS website is the most up-to-date one for this. An awful lot of the Irish websites still say that you can't eat things that they say you can eat on the NHS. I think I purposely went out my way to find a website that would tell me that I could eat sushi, because I love sushi and I really wanted to stay eating it. So, like, just for example, I found on the NHS website that you can eat sushi if it has been frozen beforehand. So what I do is, well, normally I'm eating the sushi from Avoca, but what I do is I would check with the person who I'm getting the sushi from if it has been frozen before. Explain to them, because they need to know how important it is. So explain to them that you're pregnant, that it needs to have been frozen beforehand, and they'll usually check. Last week when we were in Portugal, the waiter didn't know, so he went and checked it out with the chef in the kitchen, and the chef said that it was. So, but that's just one thing. So yeah, I'll put links with this video as well for the NHS foods to avoid during pregnancy, because like I said, that list is a little bit more up to date than some of the ones you'll find on the Irish list. I'll also put a link to the Board Be a Safe Pregnancy handbook or handout. Most women when they're pregnant will get that from the doctor anyway. It's okay, some of the recommendations in it, like for example, one of the recommendations in it is like a scone, and I just don't think that's really the sort of thing we should be recommending. Like, it's nothing wrong with having a scone, but I don't think it's necessarily something that a food a food recommendation book should be recommended. But anyway, so I'll put that in because there is some good breakdowns of the different vitamins and minerals that you need during pregnancy. And I'll also put a link for the first 1,000 days. That's an Irish website as well. They have some lovely recipes there. And what I love about that website is it's for before getting pregnant, during pregnancy, and then really good tips for feeding baby afterwards as well. So that's it really, just keeping it short and sweet, just giving you some basic tips to go by. Do look more in depth into the websites I've discussed if you want to know more about this, and feel free to come and ask me any questions as always. Bye!